Here we are on another episode of the EVERBLACK Podcast, and on this show we are joined by Josh Middleton from SYLOSIS, who will be releasing their long-awaited new album Cycle of Suffering through Nuclear Blast this Friday, February 7th, and I've got to tell you, this album is worth the 4-year wait. It's probably already one of my favorites of the year so far. It's brutal, it's catchy, and it sounds just amazing when you turn it up loud in the car. I've been cranking it over the last couple of weeks, and it's just awesome. Josh is one of the best songwriters in metal, I think, and not only that, he's just really humble and cool to hang with, and I did enjoy talking a bit of Smashing Pumpkins and Weezer with him as well, and of course his work with Architects, who have just blown up into this massive headliner, and they're just taking over the world right now. So they've toured here a couple of times, and they're always amazing live, those guys. And I'm really hoping that Josh brings SYLOSIS back here again, because that was Soundwave. I saw them, and they were just mind-blowing. Just one of the heaviest bands. I love these guys. You can pre-order the new SYLOSIS album, Cycle of Suffering, now. It's out this Friday, Feb 7th. Go check it out, turn it up loud, and get into it. All right, this episode is brought to you by our good friends at Blacklight Art and Design, who are our go-to for all our screen printing needs. They do shirts, hats, patches, you name it. If you can wear it, they can print it. They've done all our shirts and hats for EVERBLACK Media, and they're awesome guys. Shout out to Karen and Buzz, www.blacklightad.com.au. Show is also brought to you by our good friends at RW Promotion, who are the best in the biz when it comes to stickers, flyers, banners, badges, and all other promo you need for your band or business. Go check them out at www.rwpromotion.com.au. Also want to recommend the awesome new occult clothing brand Electric Witch, who have launched recently and just kicking goals. Their apparel, like their shirts, dresses, hats, they're awesome. If you like things on the darker side, and their designs are pretty brutal. So go and check them out. Support them. They're Australian as well, and that's the brainchild of Matt from Dark Cell, and he's always bringing out some quality stuff. So www.electricwitch.com.au. Don't forget to subscribe to the EVERBLACK Podcast through iTunes Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, YouTube, and Facebook, and check out all our reviews and articles at www.everblackmedia.com. It's been going for a few years now, and everyone pitching in and helping out. I want to give a shout out to the team too. Good work, guys. Thank you. All right, here is my chat with Josh from SYLOSIS. Cycle of Suffering will melt your face off. Go get it as soon as it drops. Horns high. Enjoy.
Dude, it's good to have you back on the show.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, good to be back.
It's great to have SYLOSIS back as well. I mean, the new album, Cycle of Suffering, comes out on Feb 7, and it's already one of my favorites to kick off the year, man. Songs are great, production sounds brutal, and it's just all around a solid record, man. How long did you have this cooking?
A long time, yeah, really long time. Well, thank you, obviously, first for what you said. But yeah, so basically the last tour SYLOSIS did was 2016 in like March. At the time, I was just really unhappy with the band, I guess, where the band was at. And musically, I felt like I'd been holding myself back, or like put a lot of restrictions on what SYLOSIS could and couldn't do, and pushing the band in a direction that I don't know if I was actually happy with. So yeah, I kind of enforced a hiatus right after that tour, pretty much. And I began writing I was just going to start a new band altogether. I was just going to do a new project with some different musicians. But initially, I just started writing and demoing new songs over those few months. And I sent some demos to the label and to my manager, and they were both just like, "Why are you trying to do a new band when this just sounds like SYLOSIS?" Basically, that's like, I in my mind, I was doing something that was quite different, but they were right. And I think I just realized that I just needed that new perspective, or like a fresh approach, or a new mindset, and, and not being too caught up on writing for SYLOSIS and what SYLOSIS could and couldn't do musically. And just that alone was really freeing. So a lot of the album was written back then and recorded quite early on, but over the years I've gone back and changed things. We didn't actually end up tracking the drums until 2018, or the end of 2018. So that was just a little over a year ago now. And then the mixing, I mixed it myself, and that took a long time, me going around in circles and not really knowing what I was doing. So it was a very drawn out process for sure. So it's been going on since 2016. So it's good to finally be able to release it and have it done.
How the hell did you keep it a secret for that long?
I mean, if I'm honest, I just like I said, in 2016, I sort of put the band on hiatus, started writing, and then realized, okay, I came back around to the idea that I can make it work as a SYLOSIS record. And not long after that realization, Tom died and I joined Architects. Yeah, and I kind of felt at that time, I was just like, you know what? I wasn't happy with SYLOSIS. I don't want to rush into it. I've been friends with the guys on Architects for a long time, and I just needed that, the distance away from SYLOSIS to kind of really reevaluate how I felt about the band. So there was a period where I was just like, I don't know if I'll do it, or like maybe I'll just release the album and that be it. And then after a while, I realized, no, I do really like the band and I can make it work with both bands. I think it always looks on the surface to people like bands are really busy or like on tour all the time. But truth be told, like Architects doesn't tour more than like 5 months of the year, if that. So I can make it work doing both now. And so sorry to answer your question anyway. How difficult was it? There was a period where I wasn't sure like what was going on, so it was more like figuring out for myself and like giving myself time to reevaluate and like make sure like, do I need to do SYLOSIS? Will I be happy doing it again? And it just took me a while to realize that I was happy doing it. But then also, the recording and the mixing took forever. So that was kind of frustrating waiting for that to be done. Even though I was doing it, I was just like not happy with the mixes for a long time. So I was kind of learning as I went.
Man, it sounds killer.
Thank you.
All credit to you, brother. Because I've been listening to it in the car for the last couple of weeks, turning it up, and it sounds really good turned up. You know, sometimes you get them and they just farts out your speakers and you're like, But man. No, sounds awesome. That's
actually, I have to give a lot of credit to Ermin, who from Systematic Productions, who's actually based in Melbourne, who mastered the album. Shit. And he would, I'd send him a mix, but like, no, that's not good enough. So he kind of like, he held my hand through the whole, a lot of the mixing process. So I have to credit him for pushing me and pushing for a better mix, for sure.
A lot has happened in that time as well, as you said, Architects. But have you found that when it came to writing and stuff, that some of the Architects influences sort of seeped in to SYLOSIS over that time as well?
Not really, to be honest. Mainly because the album was kind of written before I joined Architects. But I think, over the years, I from being in Architects, getting to the point a bit quicker. SYLOSIS songs were always really long. And I think everyone, myself included, everyone's attention span is a lot less these days in like the social media age of everything being instant on your phone and captivating people's attention. So the songs are definitely more to the point, I guess. And, writing in Architects now, like writing with Dan, the drummer in Architects. Yeah, I now used to trying to get to the point is like, with everything, not like trimming the fat where possible, being kind of ruthless, editing your own work and just being like, okay, do I need that bit? Do I need that bit? Cut that. But I think, as I said, obviously the album was written prior to joining Architects. I have obviously gone back over stuff in those years and I could like edit songs down again. But in terms of the material itself, and having said that, about saying like the songs are shorter and more focused and to the point, there's still like tons of riffs everywhere. And it's still like, everything that fans liked about the band, the technical elements and, like having tons of riffs all over the place is still there. It's just a bit more focused and the songs aren't 6 minutes long anymore.
Man, that riff to Calcified, that's one of the best riffs.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you.
Yeah, dude, because I was watching the playthrough that you put up.
Yeah.
And, man, that's awesome. Of course, the video for that is incredible as well. Really grim. Grim as fuck is what I'd say.
Yeah. It's I was kind of worried. Like, I in my head, like, so basically the guy who did it does a lot of Behemoth videos and stuff. Our manager also manages them. And he put me in touch with this guy, and I love his work, and I kind of said to him like, yeah, just make it really like dark and disturbing. And then there's a shot at the end that actually, having seen it, I was like, I don't know if that's actually kind of too far. Like, the seeing someone hanging there, it was I don't know if I don't think we'd go for something like that again, because I definitely saw a reaction video, and someone said that they had lost a friend who hung himself. I don't know. It's a tricky area, that I think. You'll see all kinds of violent stuff happening in movies, and it's just a movie, and then you do it in a music video, and it can I don't know. I put me in a weird. I'm not sure how to feel about that kind of stuff, because like the last thing I want is to be needlessly, violent or graphic and without imagery. Sorry, and or like for bring up something that's disturbing for people. It's not something that I am like happy with. At the same time, like people watch movies and that kind of stuff all the time, so I don't really know. But yeah, anyway, aside from that one point, the video is very cool. I'm really pleased with how it turned out generally, and hopefully we can do some more with him in the future. Incredible
work. And of course, you did the artwork as well, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
How does that play in with the album title?
In a very it is kind of linked, but not really. So basically, the album artwork I drew, I guess I call it digital painting on an iPad Pro. And basically, back in 2018, I was on tour in the States, and we did a flight from LA to Salt Lake City. And just as we were taking off, we hit this like huge air pocket, and like this huge bang just like hit the whole plane and like shook the plane. And I just got really, really, really anxious on that flight, just because there was like so much turbulence. And like since then I just had like this kind of phobia of flying. And I realized that the one thing that kind of helped and was therapeutic was like drawing or doing anything creative, I guess. And sometimes I could get my laptop out and work on music, but the easiest thing is to just get the iPad out and just kind of start drawing. So in terms of like what you're seeing, I can't pretend that I can give you any like deep meaning behind it, but the artwork was kind of done in a state of anxiety on multiple flights. So like we did a lot of festivals. I say we, this is architects, a lot of festivals over the summer, and there would be a lot of just flying out for a weekend and then flying back. So there was like a lot of flights, and I would chip away at that album artwork on all of those flights. And I guess the artwork itself was kind of born out of a lot of keeping my mind off being anxious. And I'm kind of over flying now, like I'm fine with it again, kind of worn off. But there was definitely a period where that was kind of hard to get back on a plane. It wasn't that big an issue, like this first flight that kind of shook me. But yeah, just once that kind of stuff gets in your head, it's kind of hard to shake it off. So it was kind of not necessarily what you're seeing, but more the process of creating the artwork kind of, I guess, ties into the album title in a way.
And that's totally understandable. I'd feel the same way if I was on a plane, but you got that cool piece of art out of it. It's a cool cover, man.
Sure.
I mean, seeing the shirts and stuff, like, I can't wait to get one myself. And of course, I mean, you've also got a young family now as well. How's that sort of changed things for you in regards to the way you approach music and stuff?
To be honest, I'm so fortunate that my wife is so amazing and does so much. She's on maternity leave still, so she's around 24/7. We just have a 9-month-old daughter now. I feel, like super lucky that, I mean, obviously, like she's really great, and we're very fortunate that both our parents are very close, like 5 minutes from us. So
awesome.
We get a lot of support and help. I haven't done too much touring yet. We've done like obviously festivals over the summer, and we were in Australia for a couple of weeks. That's the longest I've been away from my daughter, and it was it's tough, but I'm very fortunate to have like my wife is great, and family nearby who can help her if I'm not there. So but other than that, it's all going really good, thanks. Just a lot of fun, and still just it's just a few less hours of the day that I can spend writing, taking care of her. But I don't feel like it's changed too much just yet, at least.
Another thing I want to ask you about, you did a cover of Smashing Pumpkins song Zero a little while ago. That is my
Yeah.
favorite band of all time, dude. Hands down.
Oh,
Something
cool.
I've always wanted to do was a Pumpkins cover like Jelly Belly or Bodies.
Yeah, yeah.
So, man, and you nailed it. Has
Thank
there
you.
been any other songs like that you've wanted to sort of put your own spin on?
Yeah, I can't think off the top of my head, but there's always kind of stuff that floats around. I think one song that I like listened to recently, I was like, oh, I'd love to cover that, was Typo Negative, I Don't Want to Be Me. And then I realized Trivium have just done that. So that's there. I think we get like comparisons with them enough that we'd like, go and cover the same songs. Not a great, not the best decision, I guess. But I really like that song. I've always loved Smashing Pumpkins as well. Like you say, that album in particular, there's that one song, is it Where Boys Fear to Tread? It's got such a sick riff. But yeah, I always wanted to do that one as well. But I guess we picked Zero because it's a bit shorter and, a bigger song that people are going to recognize, I guess. So, yeah.
Not Porcelina. Extra long. Did you ever find yourself fast forwarding through that intro? It just fades in forever.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's been a while since I listened to the album, but yeah, I'm sure I would have done that as a kid. Because,
man, that's another thing is he shreds, dude. Has he been a big influence on you? He's really underrated as a player.
For sure. I genuinely kind of forget about him and how he would have influenced me and inspired me, because when I started playing guitar, I was I guess I was like 8 or 9 when I started playing, and there was like Nirvana, and then like the Foo Fighters' first album came out. So it was like those bands and Smashing Pumpkins, and then Rage Against the Machine, and then I got into like Metallica and heavier music. But yeah, there was a period where like, I was obsessed with Smashing Pumpkins as a kid, and I used to like play guitar along to Melancholy, and I think especially like his guitar playing, like his lead styles, I think's rubbed off on me. And I even like his use of like harmonizing guitars. I always kind of wondered like, oh, what effect is he using? And I realized, oh, it's just 2 guitars like layered up. Yeah. And then obviously like loads of bands like Metallica always have like harmonized guitar stuff. But yeah, there was like this kind of Metallica element in Smashing Pumpkins music that I kind of always forget about. But there's some like amazing solos that I think rubbed off on my like melodic side of playing, especially the one in Here Is No Why.
Yeah.
Such a big, like, epic melodic solo. And I think that's like really inspired me, even though I kind of forget. I'll tell you who else has like really inspired me, who's like even further away from like being a metal guitarist, but like Rivers from Weezer. I used to listen to the first Weezer album all the time. There's like really sick like leads on the album, and those have got to be like, subconsciously like ingrained in me, because even though I kind of stopped listening to Weezer and Smashing Pumpkins like after I got into like much heavier music and was starting to pay attention to lead playing, I feel like those 2 like probably left like a bit of a mark on me subconsciously in terms of my playing,
because you can hum those solos too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
The melodies. Sure. Yeah. So can we expect to see you dudes down here?
Oh, I'd love to. We have no current plans. We have quite a limited plans in terms of touring. Not that we are limited, but we've just been a bit selective over what we do coming back, and just kind of not rushing into doing too much at once. Just testing the market, see how it goes down. We've got our first show back in 2 weeks' time in London, which is just sold out, which is cool. So
saw that, yeah.
We'll see how that goes, but I mean, however it goes, we'll be doing more shows. So hopefully we'll be back in Australia at some point.
That's awesome, man. Well, hopefully it'll be very, very soon. So, dude, it's been awesome to be chatting to you about this album, man. Cycle of Suffering comes out on Feb 7th through Nuclear Blast. Dude, thanks again for taking the time to hang, and I hope you have a kick-ass weekend, man.
Thank you very much. Yeah, great speaking to you as well. Have a good weekend too.